This is a Redback Spider Roundup video, but this one's very different because it tells an extremely different story versus others that I've done. Before we go one frame further, I've got to put up that stupid warning to keep Google off my back. The beep has been removed from this video, and as always, this video is highly educational. Beep, beep, beep. The summer we had in Sydney, Australia between 2021 and 2022 was like no other summer I could remember. We had record rainfall, and up the end part of summer, we had a giant system that looked like a cyclone, but dare not call it a cyclone because it's classified as an east coast low, which brings an incredible amount of rain to wherever it's sweeping past. And remember, it's not a cyclone, but it does lots of the things that cyclones do. I've spoken about in previous videos how tricky it's been to find a redback spider around our place this summer. It was like that last summer as well, but this time round it was incredibly difficult until I found one living up inside a terracotta pipe, and it was quite stealthy in the way it was operating. I could have easily missed this mature redback spider because it wasn't doing its webs out the front of the terracotta piping. On first inspection of the pipe, I could see it had been there for some period of time. I could see a spider skin there. I could see a lot of web. And I could also see that this spider had one egg sac, and I'm pretty sure there was a second one coming along very soon. To keep a close eye on this spider, I put a small security camera up inside the terracotta pipe. I was really keen to capture some footage of a skink harassing a redback spider, and if I was really lucky, I would see a skink take out a redback spider. I know for a fact around our place there are massive numbers of skinks. I've never seen so many, and my belief is there are very few spiders around because the skinks at the moment have got full control. You might wonder, like I did, what's the difference between a skink versus a lizard? Well, Google tells me all skinks are lizards, but not all lizards are skinks. I hate it when it works like that. Apparently skinks have got smaller limbs versus a lizard. The security cameras that I use, I know can be triggered by the movement of a skink, but a spider's movement in front of the camera won't trigger anything. So really, I was after footage of skink versus spider, and I got lucky. I could see the skinks would make regular visits to the pipe, and the skinks were in no fear of the spider. And then one day the skink grabbed the spider. Wow, it was just thrilling to see. Looking at this again, somehow the spider gets out of the jaws of the skink, and because the camera at the moment is only recording when there's movement in front of it, there's bits of information missing. But later on that day, and it was darker by then, the skink reappeared, licking its lips, and for all I knew, it's just devoured a redback spider. But miraculously, and it was almost 2 days after, I noticed the spider was back in the terracotta pipe. It must have been given a huge fright from being grabbed by the skink. Here's another interesting capture. The skink moves into the pipe, and the redback spider certainly understands there's trouble in the area. The skinks were quite persistent and made regular visits into the pipe here. Maybe the top of this pipe was safe because the skinks seemed to struggle going up those curved walls. The skinks tended to operate in the warmth of the day, and the camera here would sometimes go to night vision during the day because the days were so dull and rainy. In fact, if you look up the back of the pipe during this video, sometimes you'll see it's shiny, and it's shiny because there's rain pouring down. The amount of rain that was going on while I was recording the redback spider in this pipe was incredible. There was 3 weeks of solid rain culminating in an incredibly large rain event. But it was interesting to spy on this spider to see what it gets up to. I sort of know the secret life of redback spiders already, and there was also the male spider in there, and I might put a circle around if I get the right footage, and then you can see where it's at. The male spider lives in a strange relationship with the female. You never really see them up close to each other because I know what's going to happen. It will just become the next feed for that female. But the male will not capture anything, but it will take advantage of any meal that the female will capture. We'll just go to a point now where I brought in some other cameras and I do some talking live where the spider lives, and I have a much closer look at what's going on. I've seen something really unusual going on where the redback spider is. I've got the security camera up there. It's not that clear what's going on. Let me pull this out. we'll take a closer look with this camera. Of course it's raining and that only complicates the subject matter. Okay, let me go in there. Well, here's a clearer shot of what was going on. I'm not sure whether that's a slug. It's very slow moving. I don't know whether it's attacking one of the egg sacs. There are 2 in there of the redback spider egg sac. The redback spider's scared off a bit because of the light. Crikey, I might have to get another little camera here to get up right up close to what's going on. It's right down the end of the plumbing pipe that she's living in. That's the redback there. Hopefully I've got her in focus. She's a little bit behind whatever is going on around the egg sacs. It's weird. That's why I've had to come down and get a closer look. Looking somewhat unprofessional as usual, but this is going to help me see what's going up inside there. I've got the proboscis in the right spot, and what I'm seeing looks horrifying. I've had a good long look at this and I have got no idea what this is. One part of me is thinking, is this an immature mole cricket? I've never seen anything like it. It looks like something from Alien World. In fact, it looks like something from the Aliens film franchise. Let me just reposition and I'll take a look at the egg sacs next. There's one of the redback spider egg sacs. They are stacked up. Oh, one in front of the other one's going to be hard to see the second one. It's looking like it's been a little bit roughed up, would be the best way I could explain it. I've repositioned to the second egg sac, and from what I can see, this one's looking in much better shape. It is moving around a bit because, well, the other thing that's in there is still mooching and moving a bit. Yeah, that's looking fairly normal and unaffected to me. I'll see if I can get a nice shot of the spider, but it may be tricky. There she is. She doesn't like me being in her area. You can see the back of the redback spider there. That's the dangerous end in a sense, because that's where the web comes out to get you. After that, there's a nasty bite, and she's a lovely big girl. Very beautiful to look at. Okay, she's come out a bit more, and wow, I can really start to see just how wonderful this redback is. Wow, she is a complete nutter stunner. What a lovely large female. I'm going by the size of the back of her there. I'd say egg sac number 3 is going to happen really, really soon. Okay, I'll leave this girl alone now. She's actually very lucky to still be with us because there has been a lot of skink activity going on inside her home there, and I'll just carefully move all this boogie away. I'll reset the little security camera up the hole here. I'll put another battery in there, and that's the way I keep an eye on what is going on with Mrs. Redback Spider. There we go, I've got the frame reset again nice and square. Probably get an echo of my voice now. There you go, right on cue. To look at Mrs. Redback Spider up the tube here, I'm using an old security camera system called the Arlo 2. It came onto the market during 2017. I think I've had my cameras for about 4 years. And what it's doing here is not what it's designed for. They will trigger when something happens in front of camera. I know lizards and rodents will trigger these cameras, but small things like spiders and things that don't move very fast like slugs won't trigger it. I can set the cameras to record via the app, but they'll only record for a 30-minute stint. Then I've got to restart the app and start over again and then capture another 30 minutes. I just can't press record and have it recording all night. What I was doing was I was having a peek at the spider every now and then, a few times during the day, but they're more active at night, and I noticed there was what looked like a slug would come into the environment, and I always wondered, what do slugs and snails do in the redback environment area? And from what I can see is the slugs will come in, and initially I thought they were attacking the egg sacs, but what they do is if there's something there that the spider has caught, the slug or whatever it is, it could be a leech, I know you'll correct me if I'm wrong, will come in and also take advantage of the food that's there. And from what I've witnessed, and I've also seen this around the spider lures that I have around the home, is that slugs and snails tend to live side by side with redback spiders. I've never seen a redback grab a snail or a slug as a meal. Another exciting event I was able to capture was what looks like a large beetle. It entered the tube where the spider lives. It did trigger the cameras initially. I saw the alerts on my phone and I pressed record. And what was a big surprise to me was how long it took the redback spider to gain control of this beetle using web and endless spider bites. It went on for about 3 hours, and it completely rewrote the book in my mind of how many bites one of these spiders can inflict and how much web they can produce when trying to gain control of a critter that's trying to grab as a meal. It also let me see just how much work the female spider does versus the male, who was always around and playing this really crazy game of going in, and it was mimicking what the female does, but basically it was completely useless. The male was scared of the female. In fact, you almost see the female flick the male away, and it would scurry back away again, and then it would get brave again and then come back down and pretend it was doing what the female was doing. And what was really nice about this was, this time around, it's not in a spider tank. This is in a terracotta pipe in the garden. The spiders can come and go whenever they want. That poor hapless beetle just had a very unlucky day, and I won't have people screaming at me,
"Oh, but it's so forced and it's fake and it's inside a spider tank and this isn't real and this isn't what these spiders do and oh, it's so bad and so shocking."
Well, I'm sorry to say, but this is how it works. The spiders in the terracotta pipe here are doing exactly what the spiders were doing when I had the spider tanks. And I certainly know that's going to enrage all the haters, and believe me, there's plenty out there. We'll move on to the final piece of this video now. As you can see, the spider's got 2 egg sacs in there. I know the first egg sac would only be about a week away from opening up because I know the time dynamics of these egg sacs because I've studied these spiders, and there would be the 3rd egg sac not far away. But I don't want this spider around because, unfortunately, they're deadly pests in the garden. Okay, the day has come. This is the terracotta pipes where the redback spider has been living. I have been keeping a very close eye on what's going on with this little security potato cam here. I better remove this now. She's up there, she's got 2 egg sacs. I would say she's about to lay a 3rd one, but that's never going to come. Just next to the home here, I can see what looks like a little jumping spider. I better save this fella here because he's a good one. Okay, he's gone. He did survive that flick out, if you're wondering. He's right there, backing away from an ant, which isn't a good sign. Here's the redback spider control chart in the rain. I have to be quite quick here. It has been the summer of rain, especially January, February, March, and where we're at the moment is just the 1st week of March. We're right at the end of the spider season, and this redback spider has been the only redback spider that I've found around our place during 2021-22 summer. It's been semi-remarkable watching what's going on over the last couple of weeks, but I don't want this spider to go any further. I'm going to have to give this a break. The rain's getting too bad. I'll have to come back when the rain stops. That's what we've been dealing with for the past, it feels like 3 weeks. It just doesn't stop. It's coming in off the ocean, and that's often going to bring the worst sort of weather. I think I've got a reprieve for a short time. The rain's gone away for a touch. As soon as I said that, of course, it starts raining again. Look, I've just been clearing some grass here. This may end up being to my advantage. There's a nest of ants here. I just pulled up that tuft of grass. Watch me get taken out by ants. There's actually ants all through here. These terracotta pipes haven't been here for that long, about 6 months. And what was a bit sneaky about this redback was it wasn't presenting web at the front, and normally there'd be a web network which would come out from the pipe here, be all around here, but this spider was actually working from inside the pipe and also down the back. This redback spider had a couple of run-ins with skinks, and I've always said during this summer the skinks have had control, and I'll tell you what, I witnessed it here. It somehow escaped from a skink one time. It was incredible to witness, but the skink would keep coming back to this pipe over and over, hassling the spider many times. Good night, little sister. Dusted. Well, the skink survived, thank goodness for that. It's just scurried away. I'll just unpick this now and we'll find out what's exactly gone on. It actually became the home for all sorts of different critters. It was quite surprising what went on around these bits of pipe. Looks like a beautiful slug survived the inferno. I'll put that somewhere safe. This was the one where Mrs. Redback was living. Let's see what's happened. Give it a bit of a shake and hopefully all the magic will come flying out. Okay, that's the beetle I saw crawl into the tube, and it took a number of hours for the redback to take control of that. That was the final feed. There's the redback spider there, and there's 2 egg sacs here. One has opened up from the heat, and I've got the perfect reuse of these items about to happen. It's amongst these tufts of grass here is what I really want to see. Oh, crikey, Charlies, there's so many of them. I've got to be careful here, or else I'm going to get a nice nipper from these ants. I've actually unearthed a little bit more than I expected, considering how much rain we've had. There's some crazy things going on here with the ants. I'm seeing non-winged ants grabbing winged ants, and I just do not understand what's going on, because I really don't understand my ant world. In fact, what's going on with the ants seems to be completely distracting them from the fact there's a nice meal there to be had. They seem to be just fascinated by doing what you're seeing there. It's crazy behaviour. I see the non-winged ants digging down and getting the winged ones. It's really caught my attention. I'm very distracted by watching this. That one there is carrying the winged ant over to where, well, that's where the spider was living. How unusual. There's another one, a non-winged ant carrying a winged one. They do have a little bit of a battle to grab the winged one, so maybe this is a male versus female thing. That one as well is going underneath the pipe there. How weird. And that yummy free meal's just sitting there being ignored. How sad. These ants, they're just too busy doing whatever they're doing. I'm going to find some other ants for that feisty meal. Just off to the side here, I noticed this going on. It looks like an immature redback being really harassed by ants. Wow, oh man. It's only small. Oh, I think it's in a lot of trouble there. It's near that blade of grass in the middle of screen. Crikeys, I think it's down and out. There's ants going for it like all fury. Wow, that is just action. And look what else has just turned up. It's heading straight for it. It's going right above it. Crikey, Charlies. Who needs Netflix when you've got this going on in the backyard? That spider has been taken out. I think it's a little redback. I don't know where it came from. It was just running across the ground, and the ants have grabbed it. Wow. I'll just look at that for a while. That was quite interesting to look at. There's plenty of ants coming in there. Maybe the logical spot to put the redback and the egg sac is right there. There's already a feed going on. We'll just add to it. That was quite vicious, and it's a reminder what ants are like when they work in their pack. Wow, that happened hard and fast. I was very lucky to see that. I'll move Mrs. Redback to the next food area. I'm pretty sure this is going to work. Don't worry, I didn't forget the entree. Crikey, there's ants everywhere. Well, it's really strange, apart from the weather with the sun popping in and out. The frenzy of ants has died right off. There are a few ants there, and they're picking up something next to the egg sac there. I don't know whether there was that first original spider that they grabbed. In fact, I think it is. Maybe we can work out what that spider is. They're mucking around with the spider that they caught. Put a red circle around it so you can work out what's going on. Yet the redback and the egg sacs, they're being ignored. So they're preferring the thing they grabbed themselves versus the free food that I've handed to them on a silver platter. The ants are just slowly pulling the spider that they captured away from the egg sac. And it's getting darker and darker, and there's a big rain cloud about to open up on me. I'll tell you what, there's never a boring day when you're looking at stuff in the garden. The way the ants turned on that spider was hard and fast. It happened extremely quickly. I just hope I got that footage. I was worrying whether it was in focus. It was very hard to see what was going on, but man, when the ants turned on that spider, It was definitely Goodnight's sister.